Hello there and welcome. So in this second edition of Dashcam Learning by Experience, there's a few video clips today to look at to both illustrate what can happen on the road and also give us some ideas of how to deal with some of these problems. So yet again, we're just creating awareness of what can happen out there so that hopefully you're pre-armed and can know what to expect and don't get involved in problems that other people can cause. So yet again, this is not to out people or to show them up in a bad way, but it's just to help us out so that we don't make mistakes. So in this first clip, we're looking at a roundabout incident. Now when you do your test, you should be well aware of what's contained in the highway code, and your instructors will train you how to negotiate roundabouts correctly. And although you may be negotiating roundabouts correctly, just be prepared and don't put yourself in a situation so you get affected by a driver such as this one. So straight lining a roundabout, whilst an advanced technique and done properly is okay, it is not okay if it is done without any awareness to what else is going on around you. Being patient out on the road is a very important thing. In watching this clip, I'm sure you know what's going to happen. How would you like to be the cyclist, or maybe the vehicle coming towards you? That situation there could have potentially hit the oncoming vehicle or the cyclist that was being overtaken, all for the sake of just waiting for a couple of seconds. Patience is really important to possess on the road. This clip is quite interesting. The driver was elderly and later went on to drive in a fashion that was also questionable further up the road. Be very aware of other people on the road who might not be that aware, because they may well affect you. Give them plenty of space. It's always good to be aware of how other road users are driving, because their actions may affect you later on. We talk a lot about road positioning in training. If you have a look at this car, its road positioning is questionable, and if you are on your motorcycle coming the other way, if you were badly positioned, this could be quite unpleasant for you. So we can see here already that the car is positioned out towards the centre of the road. That's not really a problem in its own right, providing there's no junctions or driveways to the right where it could come into conflict. But when we approach a bend, without a view of the road ahead, this central position here is potentially dangerous. You'll notice here how the oncoming car has to go fairly tight into the curb so that it doesn't hit the mirror of this blue car. As we approach this left-hand bend here down a hill, the view is not very good, so we haven't got a great idea of what's coming towards us. But look how the car positions towards the centre of the road very early. Notice how yet again the white van is forced right across into the verge due to the position of this vehicle. And you can see yet again that the vehicle is well to the offside on a blind left-hand bend. Now we know from advanced training that sometimes an offside position can be very, very helpful. Certainly new riders shouldn't be doing it, and we shouldn't be doing it where we don't have a reasonable view of the road ahead. You do not want to meet this car coming in the opposite direction, especially if you're misplaced. Always anticipate the worst case scenario. So this next section of video was recorded on the M2 motorway in Kent. It's a two-lane motorway and it's not a particularly difficult road to negotiate, but there's always collisions on this road, and I know many people are asking constantly, why are there so many collisions? Well, the answer probably is it's inattention and just poor driving in general. You can see the roads are wet and it's raining intermittently. The main feature of this clip is look at how close vehicles are to one another. The Highways Authority has put these markings on the road, these chevrons, to keep vehicles apart. They've even put blue signs up to tell people to keep two chevrons apart, which is about the 2-second rule which we expect to use in the dry. But observe how many vehicles actually take any notice of that. And bearing in mind the weather is wet as well, technically we should be 4 chevrons apart. but there's absolutely no chance of that on this road. One of the worst things about these clips are the presence of the large goods vehicles, which could weigh up to anything of 44 tonnes. They're not going to stop in a hurry if an incident occurs, but be aware of how close they are to other vehicles. It's very, very dangerous driving, really. I wouldn't want to be the driver of this red car, and neither would I want to have a HGV that close to me on my motorcycle. So as a motorcyclist, always give plenty of room to other vehicles, and where you have a vehicle behind you that is close, just be very, very cautious. So what are the benefits in getting close to the vehicle in front? Well, basically there aren't any, but I asked the question because it's happening all the time. If you've been a pedal cyclist and you get close to stuff, and because the traffic's slow, you're probably quite used to being very close to the vehicle in front. The problem with this is you can't see anything, your reaction times are going to be severely impeded because of your lack of vision, and you have absolutely no chance to stop in good time if the vehicle in front does something untoward. You can see here this delivery motorcycle is so close to this gold vehicle in front. Okay, the speed is slow, but the road is also wet. That scooter rider really has no chance to do anything but just go along with what's happening. In this clip here we see another scooter rider approaching from behind. The roads are fairly quiet, so we don't need to have traffic close due to excess build-up of traffic, but look how close he accelerates towards the back of the car. If that car had braked very harshly, which it shouldn't have done, but it could have done if there was an incident in front or they weren't paying attention, that motorcyclist has no chance whatsoever, and on the wet road he's likely to lock the front wheel up and crash the bike. You just need to keep away from other vehicles. And think about it this way: if you are on your bike, if you like tailgating, how do you feel with 44 tonnes right up close behind you? Quite intimidating and quite unnerving. We just all need to give each other more room on the roads. This closeness does not help anybody and contributes to collisions. So, gone the wrong way. Sometimes we take a road that we don't want to. We miss the signs for whatever reason. We misinterpret things. The road here is quite clearly marked, and you can see those road markings. However, notice the red car ahead here. He's ended up in the hatchings, which are there for emergency only, and he decides to pull across and inconvenience the van that's already on the main carriageway. If you've gone the wrong way, then you just need to carry on and find an alternative route rather than risk yours and everybody else's safety. So I hope these video clips have been helpful to raise some awareness of some of the things that can happen out on the road. So important as part of your riding that you observe well ahead and you keep yourself completely alert for what's going on around you, so that you don't fall victim to other people's driving. Until next time, ride safe and take care.